Stephanie. Almost two Stephanie. Last 50 years, 20%. Hold on. Never mind. What you're supposed to do for the party. And it's for the country, like the communists do. But it's for the party. So I ask you, America, will they succeed in this diabolical plot? Will they succeed in trying to sabotage the election that just passed and the Trump agenda, not even giving him a chance, and yet blaming him for all the problems that Biden created? Are they going to succeed in such loathsome, vile politics? It's up to you. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, it's big. Rob Schmidt recently beat CNN in key ratings, as millions are tuning into Newsmax. Every night, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax, revealing the truth about Elon Musk's Doge. Tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. Even President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our great shows anytime. Go to newsmaxplus.com and start your free trial. That's newsmaxplus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
In the district in Northwest, 14th Street is closed between Park Road and Monroe Street, that due to Pepco service repairs. Also in the district, there was an accident on DC 295 North now before Eastern Avenue with traffic jam from the 11th Street Bridge, and southbound is very heavy from East Capitol Street to Pennsylvania Avenue. Still a work zone outbound on the Suman Parkway before Stanton Road in the left lane, and traffic is jammed from South Capitol Street. And inbound on New York Avenue, the off-ramp to northbound South Dakota Avenue is closed due to sinkhole repair work. Outbound side of New York Avenue, heavy from the 3rd Street tunnel to Florida Avenue and from the Brentwood Parkway to Bladensburg Road. Now from GarageRepair.com to WMAL Storm Watch and Forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, lows in the lower 40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s.
Business owners know every missed call is money left on the table. For $15 a month, get a dedicated business number with OpenPhone. Manage calls, assign conversations, send auto replies, and use AI-powered transcripts to stay on top of every customer interaction. Join over 50,000 businesses using OpenPhone. Get 20% off 6 months at openphone.com/radio. They'll even port your existing numbers from another service for free. openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family, and have confidence that their partners stand behind the vision our nation's founders had to enrich the lives of all Americans through goods and services offered by like-minded companies. But joining AMAC isn't just about the benefits. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Visit amac.us/SRS today to take advantage of this special offer. AMAC's membership is made up of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. We're over 2 million members strong and growing. Their mission is simple: protect the interests of all freedom-loving Americans and offer incredible member benefits. From exclusive discounts on travel insurance and everyday services to supporting strong representation in Washington, D.C., AMAC's here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Visit amac.us/SRS today to join millions of Americans who believe in backing their mission. That's amac.us/SRS. Join AMAC and become a part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is so simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's disease research program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
WMAL.
President Trump, this man is really historic, and I just want to say this. Things he's doing rather. Talked about the hostages again today. He's talked about Hamas. What his government, his administration is doing to try and wipe out anti-Semitism is utterly unprecedented. It's amazing to me that the Democrats, their media, the slip and fall lawyers, the same people who hate Trump and hate you and me are coming to the defense of a Hamas Nazi supporting thug against innocent students, most of whom are Jewish, who've run for their lives, who had to lock themselves in the library and in their dorms, who've been prevented from going to class. Meanwhile, the Hamas Nazi supporting thugs have spread graffiti on the campuses, have taken over buildings, have done severe damage, committed acts of violence. As I said, they've done a hell of a lot more than half of. We won a major victory in November, getting America back on the right track. Do you know how you celebrate that victory? By flying your American flag that's made in America, not somewhere overseas like China. Folks, if there's one thing you own that should be made in America, it's your American flag that you hang with pride outside your home. In fact, it should be a flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, hand-sewn in Charleston, South Carolina, by dedicated American craftsmen and women who put care into every stitch, because they believe in what that flag stands for. I fly American flags all the time, but there's nothing like my Allegiance flag. It's a real showstopper, the highest quality American flag, period. Right now, when you go to showallegiance.com, that's showallegiance.com, Allegiance Flag Supply will give you $35 off your complete flag set. Again, that's showallegiance.com for American flags, made by Americans, for Americans, in America.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington.
News media station, making sense of the news. Let's talk 105.9.
News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. Montgomery County Police are hoping someone will be able to help them identify human remains found by a hiker in Rock Creek Park on March 1st. The medical examiner says they belong to a Hispanic male in his late teens, but the medical examiner is still working to figure out who he is and how he died. Wisconsin's governor and former state school superintendent called the firings of half of the Department of Education's employees, quote, a clown show we have to stop, unquote. President Trump says students will do better if states control education. Governor Tony Evers says states can't replace the federal money being cut, and he expects Democrats to sue. Up next, traffic and weather.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Making sense of Washington.
So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The Trump transition team spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Doodle Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at doodleshoes.org.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Blowing out your birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
EAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
No Contest Wrestling. O.J. Jackson Jr. and T.J. Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, X-Pac.
Get suspended in school. That's the number one thing people, when they meet me, they tell me. There's no, yeah.
Gentlemen, look forward to.
I couldn't believe it was my
There's no fun in it, TJ. Good luck.
I rarely do these anymore, but I was really looking forward to this.
No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
You give me hope.
Making sense of the news. Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
This is the Nation Town Hall meeting, and you can join in at 877-381-3811.
You know, America, these federal judges, these Democrat judges are completely and utterly out of control. And so I want to announce tonight that we live in what is, to a great extent, under a judicial tyranny. That doesn't mean sometimes judges do the right thing. Supreme Court certainly does. From time to time, that's not my point. My point is they're creating their own power. They're creating their own precedent. And they're going to continue building on it. And I need to call them out because if I don't, nobody else really will, certainly not on a consistent basis. And so judicial tyranny has been unleashed by the Biden, Clinton, Obama judges with the help of some of the never-Trumper judges, a handful of Republican judges, and they're doing it out of our metropolitan areas, especially Washington, D.C., New York, but especially Washington. ABC News, judge blocks, quote, unlawful, unquote, Trump order targeting Clinton 2016 law firm. Now, the judge is Beryl Howell. She's on senior status, meaning she's an old lady, meaning she's supposed to be working part-time. She used to work on Patrick Leahy's staff. He retired. He's an old man, but he was a radical left-wing kook out of Vermont, which reinforces my proposal last night. Then rather than try and make Canada a 51 state, 51st state, which would mean they get 2 senators and a whole bunch of congressmen, and it's a very liberal country, I think we should go from 50 to 49 states and give Canada Vermont. And they can take the 2 damnable senators and the 1 damnable congressman with them. With one exception, we keep the maple syrup, Mr. Producer. But that's it. That's it. I need to tell President Trump for that proposal, don't you think, Rich? Federal judge this evening entered an emergency order, barring the Trump administration from implementing major parts of its executive order that sought to target the law firm of Perkins Coie, a big-time Democrat law firm, over its representation of Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016. Now, I want you to keep something in mind. There's this Project 65, or whatever it was called, funded by dark money, a whole bunch of radical left-wing lawyers. Ellen Dershowitz on this program explained it before. I've explained it as well. Targeted 1 Republican attorney after another who were involved in the 2020 challenges, one after another, forcing them to defend their license, forcing them to fight all these ethics complaints. Some of them were disbarred. Some of them were sanctioned. Some of them were suspended. And not a single freaking federal judge did a damn thing. Not one. And now look what we have. An old lady who's been on the bench for forever. Used to work on Capitol Hill, part of the ruling class. She's a judicial tyrant. Judge Beryl Howell, nice name, by the way, ruling from the bench, found that attorneys for Perkins Coie, who filed suit earlier this week, had met the bar to enter a temporary restraining order determining they would suffer immediate and irreparable harm. The provisions of the order targeting the law firm's work with government contractors, as well as restrictions on the attorney's access to government buildings, were implemented. This is how ABC News reports this. In an extraordinary hearing in which the Justice Department put forward Attorney General Pam Bondi's chief of staff, Chad Mazzelli, to present its arguments, Howe repeatedly questioned the logic and legality surrounding the order, which said she had extraordinary breadth and whose language was unlike any other order she'd ever read. Obviously, reading is fundamental, and she's not capable of it. Regardless, if the president dislikes the firm's clients, issuing an executive order targeting the firm based on the president's dislike of political positions of the firm's clients. I guess this lady was sleeping all through the Hillary Clinton scandals and what the law firm did and what the lawyers did. I guess she was sleeping through all that, Mr. Producer. What happened to the emails? What happened to the iPhones? Then her ruling blocking parts of the executive order she found unlawful, right at the bench. Oh, that's unlawful. What did I say when I started the program? They've constitutionalized and legalized the policies and actions of Democrat Party regimes. You now can't undo their spending. You now can't undo their hiring. You now can't undo their policies and their priorities. They're all protected by the Constitution, don't you know? Their law firms are protected by the Constitution. The president has to give them access to confidential and even more secure information. She says the president is certainly entitled to his own belief, entitled to his preferred causes. He's entitled to hold tight on to his own dislikes. But the Constitution protects all of us from the exercise of his targeted power based on those dislikes. Does she understand she's writing a man who was targeted by her party? She understands she's writing to a man who they tried to throw in prison with phony charges, phony statutes. The statutes were phony. Their application against Trump. Does she understand what took place in New York against Donald Trump, both in civil and criminal court? She's talking about he doesn't get to target his opponents. During his exchanges with the judge, Mazzelli argued that the order falls squarely within Trump's executive powers, suggested that the courts had no jurisdiction to intervene in the matter. The President of the United States is authorized under the Constitution to find that there are certain individuals or certain companies that are not trustworthy with the nation's secrets, he said. That's something the president is afforded to do under the Constitution. Judge Hal pressed Mazzelli how Trump's order did anything to address a so-called threat from Perkins Coie, given essentially all the individuals involved in representation of Hillary Clinton's campaign have left the firm. One exchange, Hal said to Mazzelli that the sweeping nature of some of his arguments sent chills down my spine. Well, we can't have that. Chris Matthews had chills up his leg. This judge has chills down her spine. How about that? But they're all a pain in the ass. Have you noticed that, Mr. Producer? He made a finding that there's a national security risk with a particular law firm. Then yes, he says to Hal. Mazzelli further sought to downplay the damage Perkins Coie said it has already suffered as a result of an order. It's speculative. We would put up with a bunch of what ifs and boogeymen that we're having to fight about. None of those ghosts are real. The boogeymen are not real. The attorney representing Perkins Coie, Dane Buttwinkas. Very nice. From the law firm of Williams and Connolly, another Washington law firm, laid out in stark terms the already sweeping damage he said the order has caused. See, they're always damaged. They try to destroy Trump. They try to crush him financially, crush him personally, go after his family. That's what the federal government did. That's what these other local prosecutors did, one after another. They were cheered on. It's great. You never heard a single federal judge say, wait a minute, you're targeting him. Not one. Not one. Now they're concerned. Now they're concerned. This judge does not have this power. I don't care what they might say over at National View or anywhere else. This judge does not have this power. She may not like it. She may not like what the president did. But that's too damn bad. So according to all these federal judges in the aggregate, the president doesn't have a right to cut budgets. He doesn't have a right to data in order to determine if people are actually working or not, or to determine if there's fraud taking place. He doesn't have the right to stop money from going to foreign nations. That's already in the channel. He doesn't have a right to offer severance, although that judge reversed himself. That judge reversed himself. He doesn't have a right to take out DEI, because that's a Biden policy, so it's got to stick. It's constitutional. Doesn't have a right to do that with wokeism and so forth in the federal government. Only the federal judges have that power, and only liberal Democrat judges have the power to create all these rights. All these radical left-wing policies, spending, regulations, wokeism, wrap them in the Constitution, and then they'll have their judges. When you have judges doing something like this, which Woodrow Wilson said they would, just get them appointed, they're lifetime appointments, there's no effective way of countering them. If we win elections, great, we can do what we want to do. We can do what we want to do. But if we lose, we still need to do what we want to do. So they dig up, brush the dirt and dust off of District Judge Beryl Howell, used to be the chief judge there. Many questions raised about her conduct during the investigation of Donald Trump relating to January 6th and the documents. Many. That she's answerable to nobody. Nobody. And John Roberts and Barrett, oh, she's an only enemy of she's the enemy of constitutional conservatives. Media, I know you're too stupid to understand the difference, and even if you did, you're propagandists for all of them. Follow the law and follow the Constitution, won't you? These judges are out of control. They're being cherry-picked for a reason. By Democrat Party, by Democrat law firms, by Democrat public sector union bosses to get the result they want. And if this stands, they're going to destroy the power of the office of the presidency. They're going to be rewriting through the back door the power of the executive branch. That's what they're doing. What was supposed to be the least dangerous body becomes the most dangerous body. Like in Israel right now, they have an absolute judicial Politburo. An absolute judicial Politburo, 15 Supreme Court justices who appoint themselves, who rule whether what they're doing is legal or not, get involved in military decisions, legislative decisions, executive decisions. That's exactly what's going on here right now because the Supreme Court refused to put its foot down 2 weeks ago. Judge Beryl Howell is out of order, completely and totally out of order, as are all these judges who are doing their very best to usurp the authority of an elected president of the United States. No, he's not a dictator. He's not acting like a dictator. He hasn't violated any law or the Constitution in any respect. In fact, he respects the decisions of the court, even courts that don't respect the decisions of the people or the Constitution of the United States. Add Judge Beryl Howell to the list of judicial tyrants. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news, making sense of the headlines.
Making sense of your illuminating the issues every day.
This would probably be sorted out.
105.9 WMAL. Let's say it out loud here. Making sense of the news.
Traffic in the district on DC 295 northbound between the 11th Street Bridge and Burroughs Avenue, and the accident southbound has been cleared. Now, there is accident activity on 16th Street at T Street in Northwest, and also in Northwest, 14th Street is closed between Park Road and Monroe Street due to Pepco's service repairs. There is an accident in Southeast on Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue near Redwood Street. On the outbound Suitland Parkway before Stanton Road, construction still in the left lane as traffic jammed up from South Capitol Street, and more delays outbound between Alabama Avenue and Branch Avenue. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, lows in the lower 40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
75 years of research, 75 years of policy,
75 years of opportunity,
75 years of freedom.
This is 75 years of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Join us at nda75.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. If you, the proud, the Marines.
Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Entering the cage of doom. Who will step up to his challenge?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
WMAL.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than what was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of the markets, because generational wealth doesn't build itself. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It's of economic uncertainty. I believe gold should be a safe haven as you diversify your assets. It's hard to know where to put them. That's why you diversify them. Unlike stocks or bonds, gold is a physical asset that gives many investors peace of mind. They know it's always there. Gold is never nothing. It always has a value. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against big government. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. That's why when I diversify, I use gold. And I use Advantage Gold. I've dealt with many gold companies. They're by far the best. I want you to give them a call, find out how this works, gather all the information, ask them as many questions as you want, then give it some thought. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. You know, folks, when the stock market has its ups and downs, it's been down a lot, popped up a little today. Gold remains a rock-solid asset. It's not just a hedge, it's a proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. If you're looking to help secure your financial future, now's the time to take a good look at this. Don't wait until it's too late. Get in front of it. Call my friends at Advantage Gold right now. They're the experts. They're there. They'll walk you through everything, step by step, answer any questions you have. They're very accessible. They're not going to give you the bum's rush. They know you're my audience, and they will treat you with respect. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. Get help taking steps to control your future. I call them right now, 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you, 800-900-8000. That's it. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professionals. Donald Trump was in the Oval Office today, as he is every day. At a press event, he has at least once a day, and he was pure Donald Trump. Pure Donald Trump. I want you to listen to this. I love it. Crack me up. Cut one, go.
These people are sick. They don't know what's happening in the
The
real world.
Democrats in the budget.
Democrats have to get their act together. And if they don't vote, then what you're going to do is you're going to have taxes that are going to go through the roof. You're going to have a very bad time. You're going to have some very bad things happen. And people are going to blame the Democrats. And Schumer is a Palestinian, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's become a Palestinian. But he used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian.
That is hilarious. Isn't that funny, Mr. Producer? We should steal that from the president. Schmucky, our nation's first Palestinian Democrat majority leader. So you got him in there. There's a Palestinian. You've got Pocahontas. Blumenthal. Having a hell of a time laughing. That little Dick Durbin from the land of Lincoln, Illinois. I'm just laughing. Got all kinds of stuff going on the Senate side there. And I want to repeat, instead of trying to make Canada our 51st state, I suggest we give Canada Vermont so we can get rid of Bernie Sanders and the other Marxist political hacks there. I think that's a great idea. I know. Conservatives listening in Vermont, our affiliate there in Burlington, I know you're upset with me. Don't be upset. It's nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Matter of fact, I think we should give Vermont and you keep your American citizenship. Does that make you happy? You're not represented in Vermont anyway. I mean, Bernie Sanders basically represents the darkest red areas of Moscow. By the way, you notice how they switch that? You call somebody a red, you're calling them a communist because the hammer and sickle are red in the flag. So they switch them. Now we're from the red states and they're from the blue states. See what I mean? Also, the blue was the Union during the Civil War. The gray was the Confederacy. But now we're suddenly red. I mean, we go along with it. I got to go along with it. What am I going to do? I'm just saying how they changed the language. They're the reds, we're the blues. So they switch uniforms. Now they're the blues and we're the reds. What's that all about? All right, more when we return. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world. Radio is where I get all of my information. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available for TurboTax Live.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here, ma'am. Our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Salciha, host of the Stacking Benjamin Show. We are diving into what should be in your little emergency go bag. What goes into your financial go bag? Passport, driver's license, social security card, cash out of cards, my wallet.
The most important thing, your master password.
Oh, gee, just gave us the guns. That's all he needs.
Bicep.
Come and get them. You never knew personal finance could be this fun. What's a big can of Colt 45 cost?
Doctors Anonymous. About $3.50.
Dr. Pepper. Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Clarity and context for a complex world.
To be far more thorough and specific than ever before.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
You can afford anything, but not everything.
Being poor sucks.
You especially cannot afford to miss the Afford Anything podcast, hosted by Paula Pant.
Isn't this obvious?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You gotta name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
There's bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Style every home.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News now.
At 7, I'm Heather Curtis. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Republicans will not get the 8 Democratic votes needed to pass the stopgap spending bill the House approved yesterday. prevent a government shutdown on Friday. He says funding the government should be a partisan effort, but
funding the government should be a bipartisan effort. But Republicans chose a partisan path.
Schumer says by drafting their continuing resolution without any input from Democrats. Senator Mark Mullen tells Fox News.
If Schumer wants to have another Schumer shutdown like he did in 2018, that'll be up to him.
The head of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments warning passing the bill would have devastating impacts in the DMV. D.C. would have to cut $1 billion from its FY 2024 budget. Robert Lusk says this would be on top of the damage already being done to the region by DOJ's mass layoffs. Regional leaders meeting today to talk about that.
What is happening right now from the federal level cuts across everything we do here at COG.
With the unemployment level projected to reach 9.6% from just the expected federal layoffs. While Montgomery County Council President Kate Stewart adds,
it's not just the federal workers, it's looking at the real estate in this area, transportation.
The Council of Governments is providing lists of resources for federal workers, and next month will host the first ever Capitol Caucus with lawmakers from D.C., Maryland, and Virginia to address the workforce changes. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
As work continues to get rid of the Black Lives Matter mural in the district, so too does the back and forth on how and why the change is being made.
We put a little bit of teeth into the bill, and within 24 hours, Mayor Bowser saw the handwriting on the wall, and
as Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde told WMAL's Vince Colonnese Tuesday, he introduced a bill to remove almost $160 million in transportation funding for the city. Mayor Bowser's explanation is different.
I'd already made that decision, so I don't want anybody to think that the Republican made that decision for us. I'd made that decision because it's important to me to focus on the big issues affecting the district.
From MSNBC, Clyde added he thinks the plaza will return to an open street. Scott Lynn on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A hiker in Rock Creek Park found a human skull on March 1st. Montgomery County Police found more human bones and some clothing when they went to investigate. The medical examiner determined the bones were from a Hispanic teenage male, but don't yet know who he is or how he died. And Montgomery County Police are expanding the use of drones as first responders to crime scenes.
This is probably one of the smartest investments that we've made in technologies.
County Executive Mark Elrich announcing the addition of a drone in the Bethesda district, joining coverage in Silver Spring, Wheaton, and Gaithersburg. Their purpose?
It really does get eyes on the street faster than if we dispatched an officer, and it's been effective in apprehending suspects.
So successful, 2 more drones are now in the budget. The head of the drone program says,
we have flown over 2,000 missions. We have 4 sites. Is certainly makes us one of the largest programs in the country.
John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The race is now on to succeed Elrich. Councilmember Evan Glass has announced that he's running for the job, which will open up next year after voters last fall passed a referendum that limits the executive position to 2 terms. Glass has served on the council since 2018. Among those names that have that may also be in the running, fellow council member Andrew Friedson and Will Jawando, and Chief Administrative Officer Rich Madalino. Traffic and weather next.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair style every home.
Here's Michelle Murray and the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Accident activity in Bethesda, northbound on 270 between the spur and Montrose Road has traffic jam from Old Georgetown Road. In Loudoun County, Gum Spring Road is still closed northbound at 7 Hills Drive. Watch out for police direction there. An accident on 95 southbound at 123 in Woodbridge. Move to the right shoulder, but you will still find delays in the Fairfax County Parkway. And in Dale City, there's an accident on Route 1 at Featherstone Road. Disabled vehicles still on the inner loop before the Eisenhower Avenue connector on the right shoulder, but traffic is still jammed from Telegraph Road, and the inner loop still slow from the Leesburg Pike to River Road, and more delays through Bethesda in towards College Park. Now for GarageRayfair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Increasing clouds here this evening, but still feeling nice with temperatures between 50 and 55 degrees. And for early part of Thursday, expect some patchy fog between 5 and 9 o'clock in the morning. High temperature of 60 with afternoon sunshine. I'm 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 61 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin. Broadcasting from the underground Fernando in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader of time, Levin.
I'm happy to help any host in conservative talk radio or on Fox or the conservative sites with the First Amendment. I really am. You don't need to turn to left-wing kooks. I can help you out a lot. This is an area I'm quite familiar with, all the amendments to the Constitution and the Constitution itself. So let's not have these pretenders go on radio and TV and start telling you that what this Hamasian, this guy who was promoting and supporting riotous behavior in the name of a terrorist organization, that he wasn't what he is, and he wasn't doing what he was doing. Trespassing, graffiti, intimidation, threats, physical violence, overtaking college buildings, demanding not rights for the students, demanding that the entire institution heel to the Hamas terrorists, to the Iranian regime. Amazes me how many of you in the media refuse to go look at the funding sources. You're not even digging in. Who is this guy? Who's funding him? Who does he represent? We all know, but they won't look. Don't ask, don't tell, right? Don't ask, don't tell. Really, I can help any host on TV or radio with the First Amendment. I can help you. I can also help you with immigration law, which too many of you don't seem to comprehend. There doesn't need to be a crime. He's not a citizen. He's more than a visa holder. He's a green card holder, but he's not a citizen. Meaning he's still here as a guest. And let us not forget the purpose of immigration is to improve our society, not destroy it. If he's just roaming around, voicing his support for this group or another, that's one thing. But he was a leader. He knew exactly what he was doing. And no, he's not required to commit a crime to be deported because he's a green card holder. Nor does he cease being subject to deportation because he's married to an American woman. He's been here 2 years. She's 8 months pregnant. That's on him. Any more than anybody else can use that as an excuse for anything else. So let me be abundantly clear. The Secretary of State, the President of the United States have more than ample legal and constitutional authority to kick this bastard's ass out of our country. I even recommend he goes to Gaza, where he can live the good life. He can live the good life with his Hamas buddies, where they brutalize Palestinians. Go ahead, enjoy. It's amazing how the Democrat Party, how these lawyers are all coming out of the closet. And by the way, the Jew haters are coming out of the closet too. And if they're not Jew haters, they're definitely Israel haters coming out of the closet. And what crime did he commit? Go back into your shell, you moron. Pop your stupid face on the computer to make a stupid ass comment. She knows who I mean. She knows exactly what I mean. But there is at least unity among the left-wing anti-Semites and the radical right anti-Semites. They're all in it together. They're real happy. You saw what was taking place in the streets. You saw? Did that look like First Amendment to you? Funny, isn't it? How come they don't say the January 6ers were exercising their First Amendment rights? Have you heard any of them say that? No, not one of them. Not a single one of them. Isn't it odd? It's more than odd. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. Now, whether this Obama left-wing judge does the right thing or not, that's on him. This is not a First Amendment issue. It's simply not. The power isn't what the government's going to do in this case. You know, when the government does what it's supposed to do, when the government actually does what it's supposed to do, that's a good thing. Mr. Producer, I thought I sent to you for the list a post that was put up. I'm going to take an early break and find this thing. Can I take an early break now, Mr. Producer, or not? I want to read something to you, folks, that'll show you what a bunch of crap this is. We'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Style every home.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, with countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook, because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Michael Rosenbaum and his Small Bill co-stars take you behind the scenes of one of the greatest shows of all time.
Talkville.
I just had a flashback.
Tom Welling's here.
We're going to do a podcast
Throughout the year, we've got a lot of season ahead of us.
It's big talk.
This is good fan stuff.
Yeah, there was some good stuff.
Show. This is good stuff.
Yeah, on Smallville.
Yeah.
First time they've seen the guy ball.
That's hard.
I thought it was pretty
dark.
It's Talkville.
We're pumped.
It's a Smallville rewatch podcast.
You got to be a part of it.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
With Donald Trump back in office, one of his biggest adversaries, top Democrat Dick Durbin of Chicago, is leading the charge to derail President Trump's agenda at every turn. And now Senator Durbin has a new scheme, a government takeover of your credit card. Right now, Americans have thousands of credit card options, all with equal strong security. But Durbin's plan could result in less security. That means more risk for your credit, your identity, and your financial future. Now, Durbin's bill isn't about helping consumers. It's a giveaway to corporate megastores, which could shift costs onto you while putting your rewards and fraud protections in jeopardy. We've seen Durbin's failed policies before. His last big banking regulation backfired, leading to higher costs and fewer benefits for American families. Tell Republican senators, stop Durbin's government takeover of your credit card before it's too late. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. That's guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your clear insight.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
This is a major wake-up call.
Making sense of the news. Breaking news and the inside story on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
December 17, 2023, Eugene Kontorovich, one of the smartest lawyers I've ever met. He's taught law in the United States, George Mason University, Scalia Law School, and he's taught law at the Center for Middle Eastern International Law, but mostly here at George Mason University in Virginia. Now, most of you haven't heard about what I'm going to read to you because nobody cared. No conservatives cared, no liberals cared. The anti-Semites coming out of the closet on the hard left and the far right. See, I'm a constitutional conservative, and so are you. I reject this political spectrum that's been imposed on us, that you and I, who embrace our founding documents, you and I, who embrace the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, you and I, who are originalists, that we're right-wing. We're not right-wing. We're not of the right. We are constitutional conservatives. We're the center of the spokes. We're the foundational followers of the country. How can we be of the right? The right is fascist, the left is Marxist, and then there's everything in between. Okay? Just to be clear, do not buy or accept the imposition of the Marxist and fascist characterization of you and me. Biden's violent settler Israeli visa ban, would bar those who simply disagree with his terrible policies. Did you hear a single media person other than me? Did you hear a single one object to this? Did you hear a single law professor? A single article raising questions about this? Nothing. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has announced visa restrictions on Israelis in response to, quote, settler violence, unquote. Settler violence in Judea and Samaria. In other words, the Jews in their historic lands, defending themselves against the Palestinians. They call it settler violence, but that's the secondary point. Britain and Belgium plan to follow suit. And other European Union countries will likely jump on the blacklist bandwagon. The United States frequently uses such visa restrictions to block those guilty of gross human rights abuses, tyrannical foreign despots, and nationals of state sponsors of terrorism. Did you hear Bernie Sanders say anything about this, or the ACLU, or Ann Coulter, who dusts herself off every few years to spew her stupidity?
What's the point in blocking?
The United States
Going to
uses its restrictions to block the types of people I just mentioned, but this is a far cry from that. It's simply a big step in the Obama-Biden administration's deep delegitimization of those who oppose a two-state solution. The president has broad power to deny entry to foreign nationals, despite the furor over President Donald Trump's executive orders in this area. Barring those guilty of crimes is certainly an excellent reason for exclusion. And the Biden administration should enforce such limits far more vigorously at the porous southern border, where millions are coming from the world's most violent countries. But the new violent settler, quote unquote, ban is in fact not about settlers or even violence. It is instead a vastly vague prohibition that gives the administration discretion to exclude Israelis whose mere beliefs, place of residence or religious practices don't comport with Joe Biden's foreign policy views. Well, we sure as hell have a lot more than that with this Khalili, don't we? Yeah, we do. The administration says it can ban anyone involved in undermining a peace, security, or stability in the West Bank. In the West Bank? The restrictions are not limited to criminal or violent acts. Team Biden considers Jews living in Judea and Syria, the West Bank, especially building or buying homes there, and, quote, obstacle to peace, unquote, despite the U.S. position that such communities are not illegal. I mean, the Trump administration, I hope somebody from the Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, White House is listening. You're not precedent from Biden. Biden reached outside the country, into the country of Israel. Individuals who live in Judea and Samaria, they call it the West Bank in the media, who never committed an act of violence, but opposed the two-state solution. The fact that they live there and oppose the two-state solution, they could be banned from coming into the United States. Here we have a guy who's in the United States, who has a green card. And that green card requires certain kinds of behavior. And he's a leader. He's a leader of an overthrow the United States, kill the Jews movement at Columbia University, where he's not even a student anymore. And the Democrats, their media, the so-called lawyers and their judges are circling the wagons to protect this thug when they didn't say a peep about what Biden was doing. The administration has even called visits of Jews to their holy sites provocative. Visits of Jews to their holy sites provocative. By such standards, a Jew merely building a house or engaging in prayer at holy sites in Judea and Samaria could be, quote, undermining peace and subject to Biden's ban. Indeed, a memo from Biden before the ban was even issued described it as partly targeted at those who, quote, disrupt or prevent efforts to achieve a two-state solution, unquote, which could make any disagreements with the Democrat Party grounds for visa denial. Where were all the writings about this in conservative media? Where are all the writings about this among the civil libertarians and the lawyer blogs? Where are all the writings about this by the former federal prosecutors and the First Amendment community? Nary a one. The Biden policy says nothing about how such alleged peace underminers will be identified or what kind of evidence can be used. What do you think about that, you phony Biden, Obama, Clinton judges? State Department draws its allegations on, quote, settler violence, unquote, unquestioningly from reports by the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, a United Nations agency known for its hate of Israel, which in turn appears to adopt uncritically allegations by foreign government-funded anti-Israel groups and Palestinian activists. In short, the American State Department may be outsourcing U.S. border policy to anti-Israel organizations just 2 months after the greatest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. You never even heard about this, right, folks? Never, ever. And now every night and every morning and every afternoon you hear, poor Khalil, his wife, she's 8 months pregnant. Poor little Hamas Nazi terrorist supporter. Oh my goodness, what will he do now? He didn't commit any crimes, you know. But look what they did to these people in Judea and Samaria just for existing. Not a word, even from the left-wing Jewish organizations. Not a word. Short, the State Department may be outsourcing, as I pointed out, U.S. border policy to these groups. Policy will put many Israelis in fear of being barred from America simply because of their non-violent, non-criminal conduct. Others may be, so they were even stopping them from travel visas. Forget about student visas. Forget about green cards, for God's sakes. They couldn't even come to the United States. They were banned from coming to the United States. Others may be banned for using force in self-defense, which also shows as settler violence, quote unquote, in UN reports. So they were relying on the UN reports intentionally. By contrast, the administration this year lifted visa restrictions on those who provide material support to terrorism indirectly. You listening? Team Biden has been ratcheting up its rhetoric about alleged growing settler violence, yet according to Israeli police data, in October there were no serious incidents by Israelis and only 97 total incidents, primarily vandalism and property crime. All these get lumped together under the ominous label settler violence. Meanwhile, Palestinian terrorists from the West Bank alone have murdered 31 Israelis in 2023. It's not clear if any Palestinians have been murdered by Israeli civilians in 2023. Any Israeli crimes against Palestinians should be prosecuted, but to elevate property crimes and hooliganism to the kind of systematic governmental human rights abuses that typically result in visa sanctions is gross, especially since October 7th. Palestinian Authority funds a systematic system of what the U.S. law describes as incentive to commit acts of terror. This surely undermines peace, quote unquote, which should result in the policy applying to the entire leadership. Yet so far, only settlers, quote unquote, have been blacklisted. Only Jewish settlers have been blacklisted. Perhaps somebody should call it a Jew ban. Pulling out the visa restriction tool in the wake of October 7 is a form of moral equivalence. Bothism. The policy may be an attempt to appease the progressive base, including the State Department staffers who want a ceasefire that would allow Hamas to survive. Comes at the expense of moral clarity, equitable administration of the law, and an intelligent visa policy. Eugene Kontorovich, director of the Center for Middle East and International Law, George Mason University, Scalia Law School, Fairfax, Virginia, the United States of America. Not a word, not a peep. But we'll bring in every kook who claims that this is a First Amendment protection. I'm sorry, I'll correct myself. I didn't realize how ignorant I was. I'll correct myself. Or, show me the crime he's committed, says the dimwitted, when there doesn't need to be a crime committed. These are pretend lawyers, too. All of a sudden, they want to turn this guy into Martin Luther King Jr., into Rosa Parks. No. He is a Hamas Nazi terrorist supporter who sought to shut down Columbia University campus by hook or by crook, who intimidated Jews like it's Kristallnacht there every day to prevent them from exercising their constitutional right, free speech, freedom of assembly, and all the rest. I'll be right back. During periods of economic uncertainty, gold should be the safe haven you're looking for. Unlike stocks or bonds, it's a physical asset that gives investors peace of mind. Gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. That's why I put my own money into things like gold with Advantage Gold, because I believe in diversification. Call 800-900-8000. Join me in this investment strategy. Folks, when the stock market has its ups and downs, gold remains a rock-solid asset. It's not just a hedge. It can be a proven safe haven for your hard-earned money. You're looking to help secure your financial future. Now's the time to diversify, to add gold to your portfolio. Don't wait until it's too late. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today. They're the experts I trust, and they'll walk you through everything step by step. Call 800-900-8000 right now. Take steps to control your future. That's 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
In Prince George's County on the BW Parkway, the northbound side is slow from the Beltway to 197.
Inner Loop of Bethesda, stop and go from Old Georgetown Road to New Hampshire Avenue. Also, the Inner Loop of the Beltway in College Park is slow from Baltimore Avenue, Route 1 to Kenilworth Avenue. Outer Loop of the Beltway in Montgomery County is slow from New Hampshire Avenue to Connecticut Avenue. And 270 northbound, just after the 270 spur, there is a crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. Traffic is jammed from Old Georgetown Road. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, lows in the lower 40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family, and have confidence that their partners stand behind the vision our nation's founders had to enrich the lives of all Americans through goods and services offered by like-minded companies. But joining AMAC isn't just about the benefits. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Visit amac.us/SRS today to take advantage of this special offer. AMAC's membership is made up of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. We're over 2 million members strong and growing. Their mission is simple: protect the interests of all freedom-loving Americans and offer incredible member benefits. From exclusive discounts on travel insurance and everyday services to supporting strong representation in Washington, D.C., AMAC's here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Visit amac.us/SRS today to join millions of Americans who believe in backing their mission. That's amac.us/SRS. Join AMAC and become a part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is so simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the PrizePicks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
Making sense of your money.
The state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
Vince Holidays, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to. I'm looking at
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
75 years of research, 75 years of politics,
75 years of opportunity.
75 years of freedom.
This is 75 years of the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Join us at mda75.org.
Need a quick podcast fix?
Yes.
Yeah. Cumulus Podcast Network has got you covered.
Give it a little entertainment.
Whether it's news, talk, sports, or pop culture,
It can be a little political and a little dramatic.
there's something for everyone. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of the vote, because elections have consequences. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
They call him Mr. Right, Mr. Conservative, and Mr. Constitution. But you can call him Mark at 877-381-3811.
Gentleman by the name of Daniel Davis, who was, I believe, selected to be the Deputy Director of National Intel. There's apparently several of them, but this would be the key person who would, as I understand it, be briefing President Trump with the presidential briefing intelligence documents at least once a day, maybe twice a day, depending on the president. And I had serious concerns about this gentleman, things that he had posted, things that he had said, including about Ted Cruz and others. It's all on the internet. I've linked to some of it. There's an article in the Jewish Insider laying it out pretty well. And according to published reports, He has been denied the role as Deputy Director of National Intelligence. I do not know why. Director Gabbard thought, at least initially, that he was qualified. He clearly was not. It's written here in the Jerusalem Post that after a storm of controversy following a series of statements, Daniel Davis, and by the way, objected to mostly by conservatives, was slated to be appointed as the Deputy Director of National Intelligence for Mission Integration, a position very close to the president, will not take up the role, an informed source told them. In the past, Davis condemned U.S. support for Israel in the war against Hamas and accused the United States and Israel of pushing Iran to accelerate its efforts to develop nuclear weapons, or referring to Tehran as a marginal regional power. It's worse than that. It's much worse than that. You can go on my social site. You can look yourselves. He's another one that comes out of this Koch radical libertarian ideology and organizational structure. Many of whom have sought to secrete themselves in the administration. From time to time, we're able to eyeball them. Again, there's media hype. Maybe they should update their story. Number one, that the man is now gone. At least that's the reports that he won't be there. And number two, this is a pathetic website run by Dan Abrams that is hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. So rather than just take my point of view, is my point of view, they're always taking a shot at Trump. Having worked for Ronald Reagan for 8 years, I can tell you, President's a very busy man. And he can't possibly know all 3,300 political appointees that are being made. He has to rely on staff. He has to rely on other people. And I know Donald Trump well enough, and very well. This is a very sharp man who doesn't have a racist, anti-Semitic prejudice bone in his body, regardless of what the media and the Democrats tell you. And so this is not an attack on him or anything of the sort. This is advice from a friend, advice that somebody took, obviously. This is the same website. I don't care. I don't care about Talkers Magazine, which puts out, in my view, a fraudulent list based on their expertise or who's the biggest and who's not. They don't know crap. Their list. Or Mediaite, the 65 media influencers. Isn't that what you told me, Mr. Producer, that they put out every year? Mark's not on the list, but they can't get enough of Mark. That just shows you who they are. They're frauds. They just hate Trump. Mediaite, Dan Abrams. That's all it is. You go to that site, don't waste your time. And people, stop sending me links to them. I don't want to see it anymore. No more. 2 days ago, somebody sent me a link where they did the same thing, and I looked at the comments. They are loaded with Jew haters and anti-Semites on Dan Abrams' site. Just loaded. They're not a big social site where it becomes almost impossible to manage it. They're a little site run by this guy, Colby, whatever the hell his name is, who's a nobody, who brings in a bunch of like-minded leftists, a few conservatives here and there, to try and create the impression that they're real journalists. But they have more Jew haters who come into those comment sections. At least that's what I saw when they posted mine. The haters on the left, they won't do a story about that. They won't do a story about who this guy Khalil is. They don't do any real independent investigations or independent stories of any kind. They just kind of take the entrails from the rest of the media and slap them all over their site. But they're just one of many. But Daniel Davis, according to this report, is denied his role as Deputy Director of National Intelligence. Yeah, because the president should have somebody who's a straight shooter. A straight shooter, Tulsi. That's who he needs, a straight shooter. Folks don't need to be recruiting from the Charles Koch school of America haters. And it's funny because President Trump said he doesn't want anybody related to the Charles Koch people. And yet there's one right there. And there's a couple at the Pentagon, quite frankly. But it's not my job to be to ensure that all these appointees support President Trump and his mission. That's the job of the people around them. I've got other things to do. When things come to my attention, I'll comment on them. And if they have an impact, great. It's like negotiating directly with Hamas. That never made any sense. And Rubio walked it back. I mean, I can understand why the guy tried, but, you know, it's a one-off. It got nowhere, so we're done with it. Good idea. I'm just saying, good idea. And yet, this president has a genius foreign policy. His people need to execute it. That's what they need to do. You don't need to bring in these kooks. Who recommended this Daniel Davis? I'd like to know. I'm sure it was some outsider or some outside group. Who recommended Daniel Davis? Do you have the guts to admit it? Who is it? Who is it? Who recommended the guy? Tell us who you are. Go on social media and tell us and defend it. I have nothing personal against this man. I don't even know this guy. I don't know what he said. He's very open about it. He said recently. I posted some of it on my social sites. Take a look. It's a true disservice to the president when somebody under him is pushing people like this. It really is. They're pushing their own agenda. They're not pushing Trump's agenda. Trump's the biggest anti-Semite fighter ever in the White House, ever. He's the biggest supporter of the state of Israel in the White House, ever. And there's some people, and you know who they are, very public figures, who are anti-Semites and Israel haters. They're the ones that use the phrases like neocon all the time, or warmonger. Does that help, Mr. Producer? Does that help? I think it does. It helps a lot, I think. Folks, let me tell you something I really want to try and persuade you to do, to join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. I'm not kidding. You care about your country. You care about your freedom. You care about your hard-earned money. AMAC is the organization that fights for all these things and more. And they fight for you. They counter the AARP. This is an organization that embraces patriotism, family, faith, the Constitution, our founding. That's what they embrace. They believe in limited government, lower taxes, that your investment in Social Security belongs to you. And listen to this, right now when you sign up for a 5-year membership, $31. It's normally $60. That's about $6 a year and change. That's about 50 cents a month. And you get these tremendous benefits and discounts. You use those benefits and discounts once, you've more than paid your $31 membership fee. I'm telling you right now, it's like robbing a bank, but doing it legally. I'm not kidding. Check it out. Go to amac.us/livein, amac.us/LEVIN. Join today. AMAC is growing fast because of patriots like you. You're joining the fight. The more patriots we have, the bigger clout AMAC has. Plus, those benefits and discounts are available. And the reason they're available the way they are is because 2.5 million members, that's why. You get these exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, things that you need, things that you actually use. And of course, they give you that voice in Washington, D.C. to counter the other voices. So don't wait. Join the Association of Mature American Citizens today, folks. I've been a member for years. I'm telling you, you're going to say, why didn't I join a long time ago? Take advantage of those discounts. Go to amac.us/livein, amac.us/livein, amac.us/livein. President was in, I won't say rare form, normal form, which is rare form. I love it when he does these press events. You can see how smart he is, how sharp he is. So there he is. He's with the Irish Prime Minister, who's a real bigot. Not the Irish people in Ireland, and certainly not the Irish people here. This Prime Minister is a bad dude. Conor McGregor, who I happen to like, he's denounced this entire government as being anti-Semitic. Anyway, here he is in the Oval Office. Cut 2, go.
This country needed somebody to defend it.
It's this big, beautiful place that was being ripped off by illegal immigrants coming in from prisons, coming in from mental institutions, the gang members, gang leaders, drug dealers, pouring into our country with the open borders. I am so angry at the last 4 years at what they've done to our country, what they've done to this country between inflation, but maybe the most that bothers me is that they would allow millions of people to come into our country as stone cold murderers, killers, drug dealers, the worst, the gang members, the worst people allowed into our country. And we're now getting them out. We're going to get them out. We're getting them out. I want to thank Tom Holman, but he's doing a great job. And I want to thank Christino, who's doing a fantastic job. That's not this is a job that's so unnecessary. This should have never happened.
What about the Department of Education? Oh my God, they're removing people from there. Okay, but private companies have been removing people for years. Well, that's it gives a crap. Gives a crap. They're the citizenry. You know. Well, they're all citizens, of course, but that citizenry is second class. We need every single person in the government without question. Cut 3, go.
What we want to do is always school choice, but we're going to do school choice, and we're doing it. But we want education to be moved back where the states run education, where the parents of the children will be running education, where governors that are doing a very good job will be running education, not run. I drive through the city and I see like so many buildings, Department of Education, Department of big buildings, and Department. And by the way, they're empty. Nobody shows up to work. So I think Linda did a very good job.
Linda McMahon really deserves a tremendous amount of credit. She hit the ground running, ultra fast. She's extremely articulate. I've never heard her before. Very articulate, obviously a manager. And she grabbed this thing by the horns and wrestled it to the ground like nobody I've ever seen. She deserves a ton of credit. This will liberate our educational system, ladies and gentlemen. You can't have a top-down, iron-fisted approach run by the AFT and the NEA and the Democrat Party. That's enough of that. Let's stop pretending that's education. Let's stop pretending it educates kids when our kids' scores are sinking faster and faster, faster than the Titanic. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, millions of kids don't have the supplies they need. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. Learn more at donorshoes.org.
Let's see, something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story. O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9. Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning. Making sense of Washington. Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions. Making sense of the double standard. And here's the latest example. Making sense of the headlines. Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
No Contest Wrestling, O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, X-Pac.
Get suspended at school. That's the number one thing people, when they meet me, they tell me. There's no, yeah.
Generally, boring. No punishment, TJ. Good luck.
I rarely do these anymore, but I was really looking forward to it.
No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network.
and listen on your favorite platform.
Cab driver. Sorry, professional cab driver. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Can you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We won a major victory in November, getting America back on the right track. And do you know how you celebrate that victory? By flying your American flag that's made in America, not somewhere overseas like China. Folks, if there's one thing you own that should be made in America, it's your American flag that you hang with pride outside your home. In fact, it should be a flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, hand-sewn in Charleston, South Carolina, by dedicated American craftsmen and women who put care into every stitch, because they believe in what that flag stands for. I fly American flags all the time, but there's nothing like my Allegiance flag. It's a real showstopper, the highest quality American flag, period. Right now, when you go to showallegiance.com, that's showallegiance.com, Allegiance Flag Supply will give you $35 off your complete flag set. Again, that's showallegiance.com for American flags, made by Americans, for Americans, in America.
Making sense of your world. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. Breaking news and the inside story on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can always listen to this program all 3 hours whenever you wish, anytime you wish, any place you are, on your iPhone, on your Android, or online, satellite radio, most of our great affiliates. But if this is inconvenient for you, I just want to remind you, you can always listen to this program independent of all that. You can go to Mark Levin Show on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, Mark Levin Show on YouTube, or you can go to youtube.com and Mark Levin Show. Go to YouTube and just type in Mark Levin Show. Or you have a favorite podcast platform, just search Mark Levin Show on your favorite podcast platform. We're there. Now, when in doubt, go to marklevinshow.com. That's the mothership. Click on Audio Rewind and select your favorite platform, and then go from there. But those of you who already have a favorite podcast platform, many of you, just type in Mark Levin Show. All of you who already use YouTube, just type in Mark Levin Show. We're everywhere. As I said, SiriusXM Satellite, we're very grateful to them. We have a lot of live streaming. The stations that do that, we're grateful to them. We have the Mark Levin app. We also have iHeartRadio app. iHeart's been a wonderful partner. And of course, our AM and FM stations. We want to thank all of you. But if we're ever preempted or something happens, you can find the program on your own without any trouble whatsoever, period. Without any trouble whatsoever, period. So this guy, Daniel Davis, has been pulled back. He will not be the deputy DNI. If you want to know more about him, it's not just that he's anti-Israel. That's the least of it. It's the least of it. It's the least of it for all the Israel haters and Jew haters. I mean, he has said a lot of things to a lot of people. He's posted a lot of things. I mean, this guy, to his credit, he's totally out of the closet. But I'd love to know who recommended him. Because obviously, when it became obvious where his positions are, he was pulled back. That had to come from the top, is my guess. That's my guess. So who proposed him? Who's funding Khalil? Who's funding that whole movement? Columbia University. Is it Qatar again? Is it Iran? Is it the Communist Chinese? Who's behind it? Is it Democrat Party dark money, which is also involved? Who's behind it? I want to know. We can find out, can't we? I think DOJ, DHS, Department of Ed, all of them, they can find out. DNI, CIA, NSA, you know what I mean. Who's funding these people? Have you joined the mass exodus yet, folks? People are leaving the big three wireless companies, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. You know why? They're leaving in droves because they feel like they're getting ripped off. In my opinion, it's clear that they are getting ripped off. And they're moving to my wireless company, Pure Talk. Pure Talk was founded by a veteran. It's based in America. Their customer service is right here in America. They don't outsource it to India, the Philippines, or to Vermont. Excuse me. You know what I mean. Canada. No, it's based here in America. The people who work for Pure Talk are patriots. You can talk with your money. And not only that, you pay a lot less than you pay the big three, the Three Stooges. People who understand paying $100 a month per line just so they can get a free phone isn't free. It's ridiculous. Pure Talk is saying no to inflated prices. And with a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14, which has everything you need, or a Samsung Galaxy for $0. Not $100 a month, nothing. And yes, this is for their premium service on America's most dependable 5G network. Get your iPhone 14 or a Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan by dialing. You really should be saying by pressing the buttons. Pound 250. Pound 250. Say the keyword Mark Levin and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service. They'll help you make the switch in as little as 10 minutes in plain English. No hassle, no gimmicks. Honest to goodness wireless, priced right. Dial pound 250, say the keyword Mark Levin. Claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with a qualifying purchase. From Pure Talk, America's wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details. I shall return.
Making sense of your world. There are a lot of things that really tick me off. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's disease research program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
Making sense of your money, the state of the economy, the ability to afford your life. That's what people want.
Vince Colonnades, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The kind of thing I pay attention to, I'm looking at.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Maybe kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington. A Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
Americans jailed overseas have been released. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The prisoners have been arrested on drug charges. They were freed not long after a visit from the top hostage envoy for the Trump administration.
Among the now freed Americans were armed forces veterans and military contractors held in Kuwait for a number of years. Trump administration hostage envoy Adam Bowler was recently in the region as part of his mission to bring Americans home. The conditions of the Americans are unclear, but many families of those who have been jailed in Kuwait have made claims of abuse because of the nation's strict anti-drug and alcohol policies. The State Department warns travelers that guilt on Kuwaiti drug counts could mean long prison terms. A representative for some of the detainees called the release a kind humanitarian gesture.
Fox's Gernal Scott. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin defending his plan to roll back more than 24 environmental regulations, including rules on climate change. Zeldin tells Fox's Laura Ingram.
We can protect the environment. We can make sure all Americans have access to clean air, land, and water while also not bankrupting our country.
The executive director of the Environmental Defense Fund announced the move, calling it an unlawful attack on the public health of the American people. The EPA has also terminated its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and will shutter parts of the agency focused on environmental justice. About an hour before it was to take off, tonight's SpaceX launch has been scrubbed.
The plan was to head to the International Space Station, allowing the 4-person crew to replace Crew 9 and bring astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams home sometime over the weekend. Wilmore and Williams have been on the ISS since last June, when their capsule was grounded for safety concerns.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America is listening to Fox News.
Local executive to be decided. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. The race is now on to succeed Mark Elrich as Montgomery County Executive.
Councilmember Evan Glass has announced he's running for the job, which will open up next year after voters last fall passed a referendum limiting the executive position to 2 terms. If elected, he would become the county's first openly LGBTQ executive, but he can expect other challengers. Among those whose names have been attached to a possible run, fellow council members Andrew Friedson and Will Jawando, and Chief Administrative Officer Rich Madalino. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The wheels are in motion again for a Fairfax County meals tax.
Voters have said no before. While the meals tax is very common across Northern Virginia, Fairfax County is looking to implement one and expects to hear from the business owners and the paying public. Board of Supervisors Chair Jeff McKay.
There is no activity this board engages in that engenders more community input than the budget process every year.
State allows for a max of 6%, but Fairfax County is focused on 3 to 4, bringing at least $48 million in projected revenue. But worries include,
I still have some concern about the lower income residents.
Supervisor Rodney Lusk, Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
And Governor Moore's approval rating taking a hit amid a budget battle over education and skyrocketing energy costs.
55%.
Maryland pollster Patrick Gonzalez says that's the wrong direction. Driven in large part by gloom over the economy. More than half of Marylanders say their economic condition is fair or poor. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Virginia side of the Beltway, inner loop in McLean, it's jammed up between the Dulles Toll Road and River Road. Now on the outer loop of the Beltway, in Alexandria, it's jammed up between the Van Dorn Street exit and the Wilson Bridge. In the local lanes on the outer loop on the Wilson Bridge, there is a disabled vehicle. The left lane is blocked there, and the traffic is slow from the local lane split. 95 southbound in Newington, stop and go from Fairfax County Parkway to 123. In Dale City, southbound 95 is slow from Dale Boulevard to Dumfries Road. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, lows in the lower 40s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, as a growing family, my husband and I love game night, especially when it's Wayfair edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Wayfair, style every home.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
WMAL.
Welcome, America. About 8:20, give or take, we're going to have the sheriff of Loudoun County, Virginia, Mike Chapman, a dear friend of ours, on the program to talk about the missing young lady who's a citizen of Loudoun County, Virginia. And I happen to know that Mike Chapman's involved, his detectives are, in trying to find her, trying to get information. The parents live in this county, Loudoun County. When somebody's gone a week, it's tough, especially a young lady like this. So you've got the FBI's involved now. You've got really all the Dominican Republic law enforcement organizations. They seem to really be working hard on this. And so they haven't found her yet. They have a person of interest. I think it was the person who was walking with her on the beach, but they haven't found her yet. A week later. You know, there were 9 kids, college age or slightly older kids, I'll call them, who went to Mexico. I don't remember which country they were from. They were lured there by one of the drug cartels, but they didn't know it was a drug cartel. They went missing for about a week, and they found them, Mr. Producer. Did you read that story? They were chopped up. All their hands were cut off. They had been tortured. You need to be really careful about what countries you go to. Really careful. I will never step foot in Mexico. It's a narco state. I'm just sorry, it's the way it is. Never. Ever. Just the way it is. So we will have Mike Chapman with us in about 10 or 15 minutes to talk about what's been taking place here. I want to make my position as clear as I know how. Ready, everybody? I support Ukraine against Russia. Want to hear another one? I support Taiwan against Communist China. Want to hear another one? I support South Korea against North Korea. Want to hear another one? I support Israel against all the Islamo-Nazi regimes surrounding her, as well as the Islamo-Nazi organizations. Want to hear another one? I believe America should be the #1 badass superpower on the face of the earth, bar none. Bar none. That's what I believe. Got it? Call it whatever you want. Want nothing to do with these morons. Some of whom support Russia, some of whom support Qatar, some of whom even give a wink and a smile and a wet kiss to Communist China. Who are these people? You support these people? They're nuts. They're freaks. They're frauds. They're phonies. Then they pretend they're representing Christians. No, I'm representing Christians, certainly more than they are. Do Christians have free will in China? No, they're being slaughtered. They're being rounded up. They're forced to take down the statues of Jesus and the portraits of Jesus and replace them with Xi. Does that sound Christian to you? How many Christians are left in the Middle East? The ones that are left are mostly in Israel. You have Coptic Christians in Egypt who are being abused, murdered, tortured. How many Christians are left in the rest of the Middle East? Despite the fact Christianity also was founded in the Holy Land. So where are all the Christians? Qatar? Saudi Arabia? And the rest? No. No, I don't think so. But they say, Putin. No, now there's a Christian. You know what that is? That's blasphemy against Christianity. He's KGB. He's a fascist dictator. He's a murderer. That's not Christian. I know enough about Christianity. I have enough close friends who are Christian. God knows I have visited many, many Christian churches in my lifetime. Friends with a number of pastors. That's not Christianity. Russia's not respectful of Christianity, okay? So they claim they stand for Christianity. They claim they stand for America. They claim they stand for nationalism and oppose to globalism. Yet they're kissing Xi's ass. They're kissing Putin's ass. They're kissing the ass of the Islamo-Nazi that leads Iran. They're kissing the ass of the inbred that runs Qatar. Wow, that sounds really American nationalism, doesn't it to you? All of them want the United States to fall. All of them. This is the enemy within. It's the enemy within that Abraham Lincoln talked about. It's the enemy within that Donald Trump talked about. It's the enemy within that so many have written about and talked about. And some of them are in our party, by the way.
Why did you wait so late?
Some of them have their own websites. Some of them are podcasters. It's amazing. Isn't it? It's amazing how people are so fearful to even mention this. What shall I do? I think a relative flash in the pan. Donald Trump today got 4 to go.
Financially, we'll be stronger than ever before. I think the markets are going to soar when they see what's happening. I tell you what, I'm called every day by numerous big companies. I did the Business Roundtable yesterday. They had the largest attendance they've ever had. And these are only the CEOs.
But mostly the people that run the boss, the people that run the top 150 companies, 150 people showed up. Every single company showed up. First time it's ever happened. It's been around a long time. The biggest business leaders. We had a great discussion. It went really well. And I want to tell you, there's tremendous optimism out there about our country in terms of regulations being cut, in terms of taxes being cut. And it would be great if the Democrats would do what's right. It would be great if the Democrats would do what's right for our country for a change, because they really are. They've lost their way. Yep. They're never going to do what's right for the country. They're going to do what they think is right for their party. Not even right for their party, which empowers the self-appointed, self-aggrandizing elite within the Democrat Party. That's what they're about. They're not about the Democrat rank and file. They don't give a damn about private sector unions and their members. They don't give a damn about, working people, as we call people, or blue-collar people, or any people. They give a damn about themselves. And they're going to demonstrate that when they shut down the government. They're shutting it down because they don't like the fact that waste, fraud, and abuse is being found from your tax dollars. That's why they're going to do it. Mike Johnson, the great Speaker of the House, on Fox and Friends this morning. Cut 5, go.
This was a big night in Congress last night to get that done. We passed a clean, simple bill to keep the government funded for the rest of the year. And every Democrat, except for one, in spite of all their previous sayings about how disastrous it would be to shut the government down, they all voted to do exactly that. So now the ball is sent over to the Senate. And Chuck Schumer has a big decision to make. Is he going to cast a vote to keep the government open, or is he going to be blamed for shutting it down? And that's clearly, very simply, what they have to decide. And I hope they do the right thing, because government shutdowns, as they all said there on video and have said 1,000 times, is harmful for everybody. We don't need that.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to do it. And they're the ones that tell you the sky's falling. They're the Chicken Littles every time it happens, even for 14 minutes. Of course, I've mocked them over the years. When we have government federal holidays, country seems to survive it. When we have the weekends, country seems to survive it. When we have nighttime and early morning time, the country seems to survive it, and it'll survive this too. But we got to use their rhetoric against them. We got to make them swallow every single word and syllable they've ever spewed about government shutdowns, because now it's on them. Why are they shutting it down? Not because they care about you or the budget or anything, because they're trying to prevent the reduction in force, the reduction in the federal government, the reduction of the debt. They oppose your tax cuts that are already in place. They want your taxes to go up. And so they want to distract you and have you focus on billionaires, as if that has any impact on you whatsoever. Whether you get a paycheck or not, whether you get to keep most of the money you have or not, whether you get to keep your job or not, it's nothing to do with what happens to some billionaire. The government is responsible for inflation. The government is responsible for prosperity or depression. The government is responsible for the value of the dollar that you have in your IRAs or your 401ks or the money that's coming to you through Social Security. No billionaire, no company has anything to do with it. And these Democrats are sabotaging your lifestyle, and they don't care. When we return, Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Hey y'all, it's Caitlin and Kane Brown here with Wayfair. As a growing family, one of our favorite things is Game Night Wayfair Edition.
Let's do it. You got to name as many Wayfair furniture and decor categories as you can. Ready? Go.
Sofas, bar stools, beds, ottomans, outdoor seating, bookshelves, kitchen tables, garden sheds, mid-century modern lamps.
Time. Nice. You got 9 out of a lot. Not too bad. Keep practicing by visiting wayfair.com, where you can shop every style for every home.
Style every home.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
You know, I talk a lot about striving to be more active, less sitting, more moving. But here's a question. What constitutes too much sitting? Well, according to a new study out of Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, it's about 10 and a half hours a day. Now, you might say, look, there's no way I sit for that long every day. But think about it. If you drive your kids to school, you commute, you work a desk job, sit for your meals, watch a bit of TV, all that time adds up. Now, according to this research, you can't undo all that sitting with exercise. It's more important then to incorporate movement throughout the day. Whether you sit or stand at your desk, take a break, walk around in between meetings, or when you're on a call. My favorite thing to do is walking meetings or fresh air breaks when you can squeeze them in. That goes a long way. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Economics, they're great works of literature. Did you study these things in school? Even if you did, maybe it's time for a refresher. Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses, including their newest course on totalitarian novels. In this free 8-lecture course, you learn from Hillsdale College President Larry Arnn as he reads and goes in depth on 4 novels. 1984, Brave New World, Darkness at Noon, and That Hideous Strength. Even though these novels were written in the 1930s and 40s, they're highly relevant today, as they show what a tyrannical government does to human nature. And perhaps more importantly, they can show us that faith, family, and friends are worth fighting for. Maybe you read these books long ago in school. Maybe you heard others talk about them. They seem a little bit intimidating. Let Hillsdale College be your guide and help you make the most of them. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's Levin, Levin, for Hillsdale.com to register. Levinforhillsdale.com.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news. With Plan, weekdays 9 to noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
As most of you know, a young lady from Loudoun County, Virginia, Sadiqa Kornanki, is missing. She's been missing about a week in the Dominican Republic, and the last time she was seen, according to published reports, was on the beach with a man at 4:15 a.m. March 6th. Her friends returned to the hotel. She did not. And I wanted to have our wonderful sheriff in Loudoun County, Mike Chapman, good man, fill us in on what he knows. Mike, you've sent detectives down there, as I understand. What do you know? What is the latest?
Well, the latest is, we're working hard on this. We're working with our counterparts down there. The FBI has taken the U.S. lead on this. Certainly, the Dominican Republic has the lead because they're questions on it. But we were getting information, and I'd say most of it was pretty good. There's some inconsistencies in the information we were getting. So I decided on a couple of detectives down there to get it firsthand. I don't like secondhand information. I want to make sure that if we're talking with the family up to it, which we are, that the information that we get is accurate, it's correct, and it's the best information we can possibly get. We are going through, as you can imagine, Mark, an extremely difficult time right now. I did have a chance to meet with the father today, and told him we're going to do everything that we can. We're working with our little counselors, certainly doing whatever we can with regards to electronic communication, phones, photos, videos, anything that we can cobble together to make sure that we're not missing anything there. I know they've been doing a series of interviews down there. The Dominicans have with the help of FBI, and before that it was HSI. But again, I wanted to make sure that we were getting the information firsthand, and it wasn't anything that was misinformation that we were getting, because she's a Loudoun County resident. We take this very seriously, and we want to do everything in our power to bring us to a successful conclusion.
Well, this last report I'm reading about an hour ago is that they're treating it as an accident. Have you heard that? Or who knows?
No, I think, and the concern that I have is premature to judge this as anything right now. I think the easy way out is to call this drowning and then that it goes away. But we don't know that. All we know is that this individual who was with us at the beach, to the best of our knowledge, he was with us. I believe his story is that he passed out when he woke up, he was gone. So we don't know. We don't know if she was taken out by water. We don't know whether anything serious happened down there. We don't know whether this individual has anything to do with anything, quite frankly, other than being with her is the last witness that we know that I believe there were other people on the beach as well at that time of the morning. So quite frankly, it's premature to put anything out there regarding any kind of a presumption because we just don't know.
And you got the FBI there. Are they working well with the locals, with your guys?
I think so. I mean, we were able to get information very quickly. Thursday evening, as soon as this was reported, the regional security officer down there was actually kicked out for some investigation based on the fly, which prompted and which helped the Dominican authorities to really get on it. It was very engaged with it and kind of pushing them to anything that we possibly can. And I think, our connections now are certainly part of HFI. I got to hold some folks at the DEA to see what they could do with regards to further communication apparatus that they've used. So we actually, working with the FBI now. And again, authorities to get on first-hand account of it is exactly what we want to do so that we can, that's how we can. I mean, it's not just, any of our kids, we want to make sure that everything, in our power, we're seeing to make sure that we're doing the best we can to resolve this situation.
These are tough situations, aren't they? You don't have a lot of eyewitnesses. You don't have a lot of video cameras. You don't have a lot of anything. These are tough cases, right?
It is a tough case, and it's what unfortunately, I mean, a lot of these, these spring breaks, there's tragedies that happen at these spring breaks, and it's unfortunately it's not that uncommon, but again, this is a very unusual circumstance, kind of extraordinary, and that's why we're putting so much effort into this. I do believe, meeting with the father today, and some other relatives, I believe the Indian community here is very happy with the fact that we're not giving up on this, that we're pushing as far as we possibly can here, which actually helps push the Dominican authorities down there to do the best that they can do. The importance of knowing that it's in the media, it's being watched, actually, the transparency there kind of forces everybody to make sure they're not missing anything. And we're hoping that that's what happens. We're not going to rest until we know that this thing is it's going one way or the other, but we do want to bring it to some kind of a conclusion that we feel comfortable with, and we're not there yet.
All right, Sheriff, we'll keep an eye on this. I just want the nation to know you have a fantastic police force and the sheriffs here in Loudoun County. And my dealings with them have been outstanding.
I'm very blessed. I've got a terrific agency here. I couldn't ask for more, and I think that they come up with.
How many are there? How many deputies do you have?
We have about on our take 10 organization on this track. Just spoke with the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office in Virginia. So operational operations. We've got.
I don't really know anymore. The population of Loudoun County changes every hour. It keeps going up. How many people are in this county?
I think it's up to about 400. About.
And when I first moved here, Sheriff, there was 150,000. So that's between the number of people moving in and these massive cloud buildings that are pulling all over the place. It's like, whoa, that doesn't look like it used to, that's for sure. Well, Mike Chapman, it's growing like crazy. I want to thank you. And if you don't mind, we may tap into your knowledge in the next day or two as well. God bless you, my friend. You got it. It's Mike Chapman, the Loudoun County Sheriff. He would have been a tremendous appointee for a senior position over there at the Department of Justice side, one of the federal law enforcement agencies. Good man. We'll be right back. Have you joined the mass exodus yet? That's right. People are leaving the big wireless companies in droves. From my wireless company, Pure Talk. People who understand paying $100 a month per line just so they can get a free phone is ridiculous. Well, my friends, Pure Talk is saying no to inflated prices. With a qualifying plan, you can choose an iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0. And yes, this is for premium service on America's most dependable 5G network. Get your iPhone 14 or Samsung Galaxy for $0 with a qualifying plan by dialing pound 250 and say the keyword Mark Levin. And Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. No hassle, no gimmicks, just honest to goodness wireless priced right. Dial pound 250 and say keyword Mark Levin to claim your new iPhone or Galaxy with qualifying purchase from Pure Talk, America's wireless company, my wireless company. Visit puretalk.com for details.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
Want to get some good discounted food and dining options, reliable roadside assistance, preferred credit card offers, or fraud protection? You need to check out AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. No matter what your age is, you can take advantage of the services they provide for either yourself or your family, and have confidence that their partners stand behind the vision our nation's founders had to enrich the lives of all Americans through goods and services offered by like-minded companies. But joining AMAC isn't just about the benefits. It's about belonging to a community that stands for timeless American values. Regardless of your age, you can enroll in a 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off. Visit amac.us/SRS today to take advantage of this special offer. AMAC's membership is made up of Americans who believe in faith, family, and freedom. We're over 2 million members strong and growing. Their mission is simple: protect the interests of all freedom-loving Americans and offer incredible member benefits. From exclusive discounts on travel insurance and everyday services to supporting strong representation in Washington, D.C., AMAC's here to make a difference in your life and our nation. Visit amac.us/SRS today to join millions of Americans who believe in backing their mission. That's amac.us/SRS. Join AMAC and become a part of a movement that stands for you, your family, and your future.
The second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs continues on PrizePicks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. The app is so simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Download the PrizePicks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit just for playing, and it's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person I know who's been booed off a karaoke stage. But that was before I was pregnant. Today, I'm a singer with a captive audience of 1. She doesn't boo me. She never will.
We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
Making sense of your world. I agree. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Wait for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. Know the news the minute you wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
I'm good, man. Well, one bigger on the right. Call in now. 877-381-3811.
All right, America, let me tell you about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. They care about the country like you do. They care about freedom like you do. This is their mission. They care about you keeping your hard-earned money like you do. AMAC is the organization that you should belong to. It fights for you. Even does a lot more than that. Gives advice to seniors on Social Security, Medicare. By the way, you don't have to be a senior to join. You can be really any age. Take advantage of what they do. They have one of the most beautiful conservative magazines in the country. That's released 10 times a year with fantastic information. They have their own news platform. They keep you up to date, up to speed. And they stand for limited government, lower taxes, protecting your Social Security, and defending our Constitution. Now, here's the important point. This won't last forever. They've had other tremendous deals. They didn't last forever either. But this one, I think, is the biggest deal I've ever seen. A 5-year membership for $31. It's normally $60. So a 5-year membership for $31, that's about $6 a year. It's about 50 cents a month. Please don't miss out on this limited time offer. What's in it for you? Everything I've mentioned, plus exclusive, massive benefits and discounts unparalleled anywhere else. Travel, insurance, and on and on. Long list of products and services that you use, many you need. Use it one time, it'll more than pay for the $31 5-year membership, and you can use those benefits over and over and over again for 5 years. I'm telling you, it's very, very important. And they're able to do this because when they negotiate, they have the power of 2.5 million members. I've been a member of AMAC, what is it now, 10 years, 12 years? It's a fantastic group. So don't wait. Join the Association of Mature American Citizens. I would join them immediately. Just go to amac.us/Levin, amac.us/LEVIN. And this is an organization that understands the condition of the economy, which is why they've lowered their 5-year membership from $60, which is really de minimis when you see the benefits and discounts, to $31. Seriously. You know, I've got here Chris Coons, the bobblehead from Delaware. We've got Hakeem Jeffries. We've got all the usual reprobates, freaks and frauds, one after another, saying the same thing, lying and lying and lying some more. The president said this also in the Oval Office today with the Prime Minister of Ireland there. Cut 11, Mr. Producer, 11, go.
Israel has been under siege, and you can see, and they had to fight back. Number 7, it's a terrible thing. People don't like to mention it, but it's a terrible, terrible day in the life of the world. And it's amazing the way people don't mention that, but it was, I've never seen anything like it. Those are other clips I get to see. You know, as president, you get to see clips that you'd rather not see, but I see clips, and it was a terrible day for the world. And we're working hard with Israel. We're working hard to see if we can solve the problem. I will say I just saw 10 hostages, and they were treated really badly. They were really treated badly. I was shocked. I asked them, was there any kindness shown? One was in there for 500 days. One was 323 days. I said, was there any, 10 of them. I said, was there any kindness displayed? Like, did they ever, like, say, don't worry, you'll be okay? Or give you a little wink, or give you like an extra slice of bread or something? And everybody said, all of these people said, zero. It was hatred. It was pure hatred. So, I mean, that's a very deep-seated problem.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio today, a warning to pro-Hamas agitators. I mean, this administration is all government trying to fight this. We've never seen anything like this in American history. Never. Never. Doesn't the president deserve some credit for this? I asked the New York Times and the Washington Post, the networks, MSNBC, CNN, the Drudge Report, what a joke. Mediaite, another joke, all of them. Doesn't he deserve some credit for this? No, of course not, because they're all on the other side. I don't mean they support terrorists. I mean, they all despise Israel. And if they don't, they have a funny way of showing it. And they have a funny way of reporting on an administration that's fighting this anti-Semitism and fighting the effort to obliterate the state of Israel. For the most part, they ignore it. Marco Rubio, cut 12, go.
when you come to the United States as a visitor, which is what a visa is, which is how this individual entered this country as a visitor's visa, okay? You are here as a visitor. We can deny you that visa. We can deny you that if you tell us when you apply, hi, I'm trying to get into the United States on a student visa. I am a big supporter of Hamas, a murderous, barbaric group that kidnaps children, that rapes teenage girls, that takes hostages, that allows them to die in captivity, that returns more bodies than live hostages. If you tell us that you are in favor of a group like this, and if you tell us when you apply for your visa, and by the way, I intend to come to your country as a student and rile up all kinds of anti-Jewish student, anti-Semitic activities, I intend to shut down your universities. If you told us all these things when you applied for a visa, we would deny your visa. I hope we would. If you actually end up doing that, once you're in this country on such a visa, we will revoke it. And if you end up having a green card, not citizenship, but a green card as a result of that visa while you're here in those activities, we're going to kick you out.
Wow, that's a violation of the First Amendment, huh? I'm glad you corrected me on that one. Now I understand the First Amendment. No, you don't. You don't get it at all. It's not the First Amendment, and you don't understand immigration law either. To the morons out there. You've heard from the president, you've heard from the Secretary of State, now you're going to hear from the border czar, Tom Homan, in Albany, New York today. Cut 13, go.
Question about the pro-Palestinian protester who was arrested.
They're not pro-Palestinian protesters. Can we stop that too? Even my favorite news organizations say the pro-Palestinian or the anti-Israel. They are pro-terrorists. That's what they are. And for you in the media, your games are really disgusting. You say there's a difference between Hamas and the Palestinians. I say there's not so much a difference. You say there is. But when it comes to reporting, you don't make that distinction. This guy's not a pro-Palestinian demonstrator. He's a pro-terrorist demonstrator. I thought you believed that they were segregated. But apparently you don't. So according to the media, let's be clear, all Palestinians are terrorists because this guy is a Hamas supporter. If he was just a pro-Palestinian demonstrator, it wouldn't matter. Nobody'd give a damn. But that's not what he's about. Got it? Media? Comprehend? You're sickening. Go ahead.
President Trump said that he was distributing pro-Hamas flyers and that he wanted them out.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought he was pro-Palestinian. Now he's promoting pro-Hamas flyers. Well, which is it? Because Mark's right. It's the same damn thing. Go ahead.
Any violation of his visa? What crime did he commit? And another follow-up.
He didn't commit. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter if he committed a crime. But he could have committed a crime if you look at some of the criminal statutes. I mentioned several of them on Saturday night, thanks to our friends at the Heritage Foundation who dug it up years ago, having nothing to do with this case. That said, you just said, Alan, that just shows you the idiocy. Revoking his visa, now you're revoking his green card, number one. What crimes did he commit? The Secretary of State just explained you don't have to commit a crime. You're here as a guest. That's not the standard. So we have a media that is ignorant, low IQ, collectively so, and they don't want to know. So they're treating this guy like he's Rosa Parks or he's Martin Luther King or he's some great civil rights leader. He's a thug for a terrorist organization. That's what he is. He's a thug. Go ahead.
His actions are is directly contradictory to United States foreign policy. That's the Secretary of State. That's a charge on the Secretary of State. We consider a national security threat. When you're on campus and they say, and I hear freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Can you stay in a movie theater and yell fire? Can you slander somebody verbally? Free speech has limitations, but when you go to a college campus, you incite protesting and locking down and taking over buildings and damaging property and handing out leaflets for Hamas, who is a terrorist organization. Coming to this country either on a visa or becoming a resident alien is a great privilege. But there are rules associated with that. You might be able to get away with that stuff in the last administration, but you won't under this administration.
Now, he can say that 5 billion times and the media still will pretend they don't understand. Just be clear, the Democrat Party today is for shutting down the government and protecting this riotous individual who supports a terrorist organization. Just be clear. That's the modern day Democrat Party. Wonders why they lose elections, you know. President Trump has called Schumer. He's not Jewish, he's a Palestinian. And so in that vein, I agree with him. Remember when he took to the floor and he's attacking Israel's war leader, their commander-in-chief, their prime minister, while his country's under attack. He's attacking Netanyahu. Because the majority of the Democrats in the Senate support the enemy, not the victim. Oh, they'll say, no, we don't. Yes, they do. Starting with Bernie Sanders. He's out there worried about the billionaires, you know, the billionaires. Oh, yes. It's the way it works right now. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Making sense of Washington.
So it happened again? Is that what you're telling me? Yet another guest of this program now has a job in the Trump administration.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
The Trump transition team spending a lot of time on WMAL.com looking at all of the guests who have appeared on this program, which does bring a smile to my face. I do like that good people are getting good jobs.
Vince Colonnade, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
I feel like we talk a lot about the connection between your brain and your heart, and we do it for good reason. A new study out of Imperial College London found that men at risk for heart disease may develop dementia up to a decade earlier than similarly at-risk women. Now, heart disease, of course, is the #1 cause of death here in the United States and around the world. Obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, drinking alcohol, not getting enough exercise or sleep. They're all things that put you at greater risk of heart disease and, yes, dementia. And I tell you this not to scare you, but to motivate you. After all, there are attainable lifestyle changes you can make to ward off trouble in your body and your brain. Eat better, exercise more, sleep more, don't smoke, don't drink too much. Men, you need to start that even earlier. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, huh?
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Same rate is 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-bill.
So he can educate you, whether you like it or not. But living is on the radio. With Frank, weekdays 9 to noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it is wise all the time, particularly during times like this, to diversify. As they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, particularly when you can't control what's taking place around you. And I believe when you diversify, you should seriously consider some gold. Unlike stocks or bonds, it's a physical asset that gives many investors peace of mind. You can actually hold it. You can take it with you if you get any coin form, depending on what coins you get. They're not only an investment, but they're usable as currency. And gold has been a valued investment for thousands of years. That's why I use it. And I use Advantage Gold when I acquire it because I consider them the best of the best, or I wouldn't bring them to you. And you can call them at 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. I know it's getting late depending on where you live, but it doesn't matter. They're there. When the stock market plummets and then tries to fight its way back up, just remember gold remains a rock-solid asset. It never loses all its value, that's for sure. And it's not just a hedge. It's a proven safe haven for hard-earned money like yours. It's not just for billionaires and millionaires. It's for everybody. That's the genius of it. So if you want to secure your financial future, diversification is the answer. And I would suggest using gold as well. Don't wait until it's too late. Call my friends at Advantage Gold. They're the experts. They'll walk you through every step, one by one, no pressure. Call 800-900-8000. Call them right now. Get help taking steps to control your future. 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. 800-900-8000. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Okay. See if we can squeeze a call or two in here before we have to say sayonara or adios or just goodbye. Okay, let's see here, Mr. Producer. Give me one, Mr. Producer, would you? One of the callers, please, because I don't think it arrived. Jeff in New Jersey, XM Satellite. Jeff, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Mark. Mark Levy is a longtime listener. In fact, you remind me of the great, great Bob Grant in your delivery and style. That's where I got my
That is a
back in the day. But anyway,
a great honor. It's a dear friend.
well, I mean that sincerely. I have a observation, and maybe you could just figure it out of this. Really supportive of the Republicans, the House, and Senate. Whether you're, I don't understand it. It looks to me like the whole process of a shutdown is doing what they're doing. Is their own. I mean, I thought that this continuing resolution was supposed to provide the Republican majority in the House with Trump the opportunity to do this reconciliation, this one big beautiful bill by March or April.
Because they can't get the votes for it right now. That's simple. Very close in the House. Need one or two votes. What they're trying to do is fund it for 6 months, and there are cuts in it. There's very good things in this bill. I was reading what Chip Roy had to say. It reduces spending and freezes all increases. That's pretty damn good for 6 months. And then they're hoping what happens is there's actually more progress in the executive branch, more progress to get the other parts of this passed. I happen to agree with you. I would have liked one beautiful bill with all the tax cuts in it as well. But, you're dealing with a lot of prima donnas, and they had to break arms and so forth just to get what they got. So,
and then here we get a shutdown, everything gets slowed down. I mean,
they get it shut down because of the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. They are kamikazes, and that's the way it is. You get a shutdown even if it was one beautiful bill, because that one beautiful bill has to be passed now too. Something has to be passed. You either pass a 6-month or a full year, but something has to be passed if they're going to pass anything. And so even if they did the full year, they'd still do the Kamikaze Act. But you have some Republicans, including in the Senate. You've got Murkowski and Collins and people like that. And so they're sitting there trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. They wanted one bill in the House. The Senate said, we think we need 2. And so that's the route they've taken.
Yeah. Well, all right, Mark. Thanks for taking my call.
I'm with you. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your call. Let's go to John, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Beautiful area. The great WMAL. John, how are you?
Hey, doing great, Mark. Thanks for taking my call. First time.
Yes, sir.
Looking at Article 3 of
Mm-hmm.
it seems to me what I read it seems like both the House and Senate have had a law or legislation, whatever you want to call it, that would exempt certain things from judicial review. So it would stop some of this activist judge stuff.
I agree with you.
Let me get your thoughts on that, because
I think that's 100% correct. Look, when I wrote this in Men in Black, God knows how long ago, it was considered controversial. It's not. It's the truth. You look at that Constitution, you don't find judicial review in there, do you, John? It's an implied power. In fact, the only court you find is the Supreme Court. The Congress creates these other courts, all of them. Decides how many members are going to be on the appellate courts, what states they're going to cover, how many federal district courts they're going to be. And yes, they can withhold jurisdiction from them, but you got to get the votes to do it. Of course, in the Senate, they have the filibuster rule. You're never going to get the Democrats because they like what the courts are doing for the most part, unless they can destroy the Supreme Court. But the lower courts, particularly the trial courts, kind of deliver them most of what they want. So that's that. Yes, they could. The only reason we have judicial review was a decision written by an early Chief Justice in Marbury versus Madison, in which the Chief Justice basically wrote, this is the power the court has to examine constitutional questions, but we're not going to use it in this case. Marshall was very clever, wasn't he? Says, look, that's the power the court has, but we're not going to use it. So they used it after, obviously. We can talk more about that another day. I want to salute all you heroes out here. Thank each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.
Making sense.
Yeah, I'm turning in. I got to get up early in the morning.
Making sense of the news.
Now taxes is
Good night,
Credit Karma,
everybody.
where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma.